They're breaking down my door right now, and I'm not even kidding. I wish this was just another HOA story with some crabby neighbor sending me a nasty letter about my grass being too tall, but no Rachel from the HOA just showed up with what she's calling security personnel. 6 men in tactical gear demanding I evacuate my own cabin for some alleged violations. My heart's pounding out of my chest. I've got a dresser shoved against the door, and outside it sounds like a full-blown SWAT raid on my mountain place. If you ever wondered what it's like to go from morning coffee to hostage situation in under 3 hours, welcome to Tuesday at my house. You ever have an HOA come after you like you're Pablo Escobar? Drop it in the comments, because at this point I'm genuinely wondering if I'm on some kind of reality show. But let me back up a sec. This all started on what should have been a quiet Colorado morning. I was on the deck sipping my coffee, watching a hawk circle down in the valley, feeling pretty good about life when this woman with perfect blonde hair and a clipboard comes marching across my front yard like she owns every blade of grass between here and Denver. She's got these official-looking stakes and starts hammering them right into my yard. Not even a hello. So I yell down, "Excuse me, you're on private property." Figured maybe she's lost, right? Nope. She just keeps hammering away, every hit echoing off the mountains like a warning shot. And then I see it. This is Rachel Collins from the HOA's Environmental Committee, the one whose emails always sound like she's about to issue a federal indictment for someone's recycling bin being out past Tuesday. She finally looks up, and I swear there's a special kind of crazy in her eyes. Too much authority, not enough real life. County environmental compliance extends to all properties in the water district, Mr. Wright, she says, not even breaking stride. Show me county authorization, I tell her. 25 years in the Army Corps of Engineers means I know a real survey from a scam, and this was definitely not official. She snaps back. I don't need to show you anything. I represent the HOA Environmental Committee. Lady, you're about to get a lesson in overplaying your hand. It gets better. She starts rattling off about underground springs, water tables, using technical terms no HOA board member should know, like she's memorized the EPA handbook and got a PhD overnight. But the kicker, she's acting like she's searching for something, not general surveying, but glancing at specific spots on my property, like she's got a treasure map in her head. So I start pulling up her stakes. Each one comes up easy enough, but when I get to the big pine by my driveway, my shovel hits something metal deep down. Not a rock, not a pipe, a solid metallic clang. Rachel freezes. She knows that sound. She's pale as a ghost now, and in that moment I realize this isn't just a nosy neighbor. She's looking for something, and I just found it. Ever stumble into something you immediately regret finding? Yeah, that's me right then. As soon as Rachel hears that metal clang, she's out, practically sprints to her car and peels out of my driveway like she just robbed a bank. Me. I keep digging. About 3 feet down, I hit a steel lockbox, military grade, engraved with Water Distribution Survey 1987 Colorado Water Rights Act. I'm holding history or a bombshell or both. That box is heavy, sealed, tighter than Fort Knox, and all I can think is who buried this and why I couldn't get it open by myself, so I did what any sane person with Army cousins in a suspicious box would do. I called the cavalry. You ever have those family members you can count on for the wildest stuff? Mine are Jake and Tony, the Mountain Thunder Riders. They sound like bikers because they are, but not the kind you're thinking. Try a dozen Army Corps combat engineers who decided Harley engines were a better retirement gig than cubicles. Jake's got this calm way about him. He can fix anything, build anything, and stay cool under fire. Tony. He remembers every regulation, every loophole, like it's a party trick. So I called Jake, tell him I've got a lockbox from 1987 HOA harassment, and a lot of questions. He doesn't hesitate. We'll be there in 40 minutes. Don't touch anything else. Now, while I'm waiting for backup, I set up security cameras because Rachel Collins does not give up easy. That night around 2 a.m., my cameras catch 3 figures in hazmat suits poking around with thermal imaging gear. Hazmat suits. On my property. One's got something that's definitely not a soil tester, looked more like a piece of equipment straight out of a spy movie. Suddenly, I'm wide awake, sleep. Forget about it. These people aren't volunteers, they're pros, and they want whatever's in that box. By morning, the harassment goes digital. My phone is blowing up. Neighbors messaging me, hey, have you seen this on the community message board? There's now a coordinated smear campaign. They've got photos of me changing a tire on my truck captioned like I'm rigging up explosives. Everything looks professionally shot, multiple angles. They even play the PTSD card, calling me unstable. That stings more than anything. I want to fight back, but then Betty Johnson shows up. Betty, now she's a neighbor worth her weight in gold. Military widow, tough as nails, and doesn't suffer fools. She walks in holding her phone. Says, Andrew, have you seen what Rachel's posting about you? Betty's not buying it. She can smell a coordinated attack a mile away. This is information warfare, she says, and someone's paying for it. Betty's right. The timing, the coordination, the professionalism, it's all too slick. That's when I get a text from an unknown number. Stop digging, or your army buddies will be next. Attached is a photo of Jake's bike parked outside his house, taken just 20 minutes ago. That's the moment this stops being a neighborhood squabble and turns personal. Rachel calls an emergency HOA meeting. Feels like walking into a courtroom where the verdict's already in, and you're the villain. She's got PowerPoints, charts, claims about environmental dangers on my property, and suddenly everyone's looking at me like I'm the bad guy. But I stand up, lay out my credentials. Army Corps engineer, 25 years, built water treatment systems in war zones, assessed contamination where people were actively trying to kill me. Rachel tries to interrupt, but then Betty stands up. And when Betty stands up, people listen. This man knows more about water systems than all of us put together, she says. And for a minute, the room shifts. Rachel pushes back, tries to make it about emotional bias, but she's losing control. I ask for county orders, EPA directives, anything real. All she's got is anonymous complaints. That's when I realize this isn't about the environment. It's about control and probably a lot of money. After the meeting, I overhear Rachel talking on the phone outside. If he figures out what we really found in that lockbox, my heart drops. Federal contacts, environmental scams, the whole 9 yards. Not long after, a crew shows up, supposedly EPA contractors. But their paperwork is off, their methods don't match the tests they're running, and wait for it. The company is called Collins Environmental Services, as in Rachel Collins. What are the odds? Turns out their testing is just pumping chemicals into my soil, then finding contamination. Meanwhile, hidden pipes run straight to a massive pump system under my land. These people aren't environmental contractors, they're thieves stealing water rights worth millions. I catch Rachel talking to her husband, Tom, who's the real boss behind the scenes. He's threatening her with divorce if she doesn't secure my water rights by next week because their resort contract depends on it, $10 million on the line. Suddenly, this little HOA power trip is looking a whole lot like organized crime. It gets crazier. Black SUVs with government plates show up, but their credentials don't match any agency I know. Tom Collins, with a squad of construction workers, tries to intimidate me off my own land. He flashes fake EPA authority, threatens to call in federal intervention, and cuts my power and blocks the driveway, basically laying siege to my cabin. That's when the lockbox finally pops open, and inside is a deed for exclusive water easement rights, estimated value $22 million. Suddenly, I know exactly why they're here. And so does Tom. He's screaming at his crew, making desperate calls, threatening to manufacture a national security emergency to get me removed as an unstable veteran. He wants to use my military service against me, paint me as dangerous. That's crossing a line. But the Mountain Thunder Riders arrive, 12 Army Corps veterans on Harleys, rolling up in tactical formation, American flags gleaming, and not a single ounce of fear in the whole lot. The psychological shift is immediate. Tom's construction crew wants no part of it. Jake and Tony present real federal credentials, check Tom's documentation, and reveal it's all expired, his EPA authority revoked for fraud months ago. The crew flees and Tom is left standing there exposed. Then the FBI shows up. Real federal agents, not these contractor knockoffs. Betty's evidence, my lockbox, and years of documentation come together. Turns out Collins Environmental Services has been running this scam across 12 states for 3 decades, stealing water rights from veterans' families, you name it. The FBI arrests Tom and Rachel at the annual Veterans BBQ of all places. There's something poetic about serving warrants over potato salad while the whole community watches the fraudsters get cuffed. Neighbors who avoided me are apologizing, kids want to see my army patches, and everyone's realizing the power of standing up together. Videos of the bust go viral, and suddenly being a combat engineer means being the neighborhood hero, not the villain. The FBI finds records showing the Collins family targeted veterans because we're the hardest to scam. We notice the details. But here's the twist. That lockbox was just one of 12. 6 months later, I get a key in the mail. No return address, just a note with coordinates and a hint. Want to know what happened to the other 11 veterans? Come alone. Turns out my little retirement adventure was just the opening chapter in a nationwide conspiracy. So here's the question. What would you do if your quiet life turned into a federal crime thriller overnight? Drop your thoughts below. Share your story, your HOA nightmare, your fight for what's right. Because if there's one thing I learned from all this, it's that justice happens when good people stand up, stick together, and don't back down, even when the whole mountain seems stacked against them. Hit that next video and let's see what fresh madness waits just around the bend.